In today's video, I'm going to encourage you to embrace your silver hair. I know a lot of people don't like silver hair. They are dyeing it like on a consistent basis. In today's video, I'm going to actually encourage you to love your silver hair and your gray hair. Sharing with you hair care tips that you can do with your silver hair, how you can actually embrace it and love it. Most of you might say, why are you doing a video about silver hair but you don't have any silver hair? But I'm just here to encourage those people who have silver hair, because you can actually love your silver hair, guys, and you can actually embrace it. When you start seeing that you are having silver hair or gray hairs, sometimes it might be a cause of genetics. Most of the time you see that when you are having like gray hairs coming out when you are young, sometimes it can be caused by genetics. Okay, some people can actually have gray hairs when they are young, like maybe 15, 16, and you know, they start dyeing their hair because they don't want the gray hair. But I'm going to actually encourage you to embrace them, because silver hair can be very beautiful. If it's coming out of your scalp, love it. Okay, but some people don't feel comfortable to have like silver hair, which is absolutely fine. If I have like a lot of gray hairs on my head, I probably will turn it to black. Okay, but this video is for those people who love their silver hair, who love their gray hair. So I'm going to be sharing hair care tips that you can actually use on your gray hair. The first thing that you need to know is that gray hair, sometimes when it's coming out from the scalp, it can be a bit wiry, like very hard, unruly. Okay, very hard to actually maintain. If you're getting a bit older, the follicles are shrinking up. Sometimes it can come out a bit thin, or sometimes it can be very coarse and hard. Okay, so if you are a person that's having hair coming out very thin, I recommend you to do not use heavy products when you are having like thin hair, when it is silver hair. Okay, so the first one is, do not use heavy products on your hair, because when you do that, it's just gonna weigh it down. It weighs it down. So when you're getting older, you start seeing that your follicle starts to shrink up, and then the more it shrinks up, the more the hair is going to come out a little bit thin. So you don't want to be using heavy products like butters and castor oil. You don't want to use thick products on your hair. So try to use something like a leave-in spray that, and then just use a lighter oil like grapeseed oil or argan oil, but don't use like heavy oils like castor oil, because it will just weigh your hair down. But if you have coarse hair, I would actually recommend you to be using like thick products that can coat all your hair, prevent that dryness on your hair. Because when your hair, sometimes the gray hair can be a bit very hard, and very hard to maintain actually. So if you don't want that kind of a feel to your hair, use a bit more heavier products on your hair. The second thing as well that you want to look at when you have gray hair that is a bit coarse and hard, make sure that you're using a steamer. Use a steamer and deep condition your hair. Every single time you're washing it, make sure that you're deep conditioning. Deep conditioning your wiry silver hair will be a good thing to do, because it helps to soften the hair. Because right now, the hair strand that is coming out from the scalp is a bit different from the hair that was coming out before. When your hair is starting to gray, the melanin has actually changed. The melanin, that is what actually gives your hair its color. But when it's coming out gray, sometimes it's a little bit hard and very wiry. So you want to make sure that you are deep conditioning on a regular basis with a steamer. So I would recommend you, if you have silver hair, use maybe a deep conditioner. That is, if you have coarse hair and hard hair or wiry hair, use products that are a bit heavier. Okay, put that on your hair and then sit under a steamer. If you have hair that is a bit fine and it's gray, I would recommend you to use lighter products and sit under a steamer as well. By doing this, you're actually helping the moisture to get into your hair, especially if you have low porosity hair, the cuticles are closed up. You really want the product to get into the cuticles and the shaft of your hair. Steaming the hair is very important. You want to make the hair soft, okay, because sometimes it can become unruly and very dry and hard and coarse. All right, next tip for gray hair: you need to limit heat, because sometimes when you use a lot of heat, when you have gray hair, sometimes if it burns, if you burn your hair, sometimes you might see actually your hair turning a little bit on the yellowy side. Your hair can actually turn yellow if you burn it, okay? So you want to stay away from heat as much as possible. There are things out there that you can actually use. If you want like curls, you can use something like flexi rods. You don't necessarily need to use heat on your hair. So try to stay away from heat, and try to stay away from, you know, like high temperatures when you're using heat, because you don't want the side effects of using too much heat, because your hair can change color. You don't want that yellow color on your silver hair. So that is another tip right there. Now you also want to make use of clarifying shampoos. Now if you stay where there's hot water, and also if you're taking medications as well, you might actually find that you need a clarifying shampoo to just wash out all that, okay? So when you have silver hair or gray hair, you need to make sure that you have a clarifying shampoo, all right? And also make sure that after you use the clarifying shampoo, you are also bringing back the moisture in, because when you don't do this, the clarifying shampoo can be very drying to the hair that is already coarse already. So you might find your hair breaking a lot. If you have fine hair, use a conditioner that is not too thick, okay? You don't want something that will weigh your hair down, so use something that is a bit lighter, a conditioner that is a bit lighter. If you have like coarse hair, make sure that you're also using a conditioner soon after you clarify your hair. It's very important, guys. Clarify your hair. You don't want product built up on your silver or gray hair. When your hair is gray, sometimes your hair might need you to like finger detangling. So you might find that your hair, you know, your hair is already coarse already, okay? So it's hard, it's wiry. So to prevent breakage, use finger detangling. Don't use combs, because your hair right now, it has the texture itself has actually changed. You might find that it's a bit hard to work around with your hair or to manipulate it. So finger detangle your hair whenever you do your hair. Don't always like use combs and brushes. Try to finger detangle most of the times, because that will just prevent a lot of unnecessary breakage. Also, the other tip as well that you need to know, protective styling. Now that your hair is a different texture and it's wiry and all that, you also need to keep your hands away from your hair. So when you do your wash routine, you wash your hair, you deep condition, you moisturize, make sure that you're putting your hair away, okay? Like in braids or in cornrows. I don't know which style you like, but just try to stay away from touching your hair all the time, because that will help to reduce a lot of, you know, breakage, a lot of shedding, unnecessary shedding actually. And try to stay also away from tight hairstyles, because that will pull out your hair. Now your hair is not that strong the way it used to, especially if you're aging, your hair will become a bit prone to breakage, okay, because the follicles are shrinking a little bit. So your hair is a bit weaker. Now you need to be more mindful of what you're doing to your hair. So putting your hair in a protective style is good, because you're not touching it, you're not manipulating it too much, so it's able to grow even more beautiful. So this video, I just did it for you to embrace your silver hair or your gray hair. Embrace it. Silver hair is beautiful. Do you know that? It's absolutely gorgeous for people who are ready for it. I know that it's not everyone who loves silver hair. Me, if I see a lot of gray hairs, I'm going to dye it. I'm not going to lie to you. But this video, I just did it because I want to encourage those who are already, you know, having silver hair. So these are the hair care tips for silver hair. Like, this is how you're going to take care of it. Deep condition, moisturize, don't use heavy products. If it's wiry hair, make sure that you are using a steamer, because you really want the product to get into your hair and all that good stuff. So if you really want more videos like this one, comment down below. And if you have watched till the end, also comment down below and let me know if you have watched till the end. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and bye for now.